We will call to order the Board of Commission meeting this November 19th, 2025 at 2:10 p.m. We will start with a prayer reading or thought by Paul Jones and will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by our Eagle Mountain friend, Evan Barrett.
Our Father in heaven, we are grateful for this beautiful day today, for the chance we have to participate in open government. We pray thy most choice blessings to be upon us and thy spirit to guide us as we progress through this meeting and throughout our day to day. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Paul.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Evan. All right. Building the consent agenda. Are there any of the 10 items that either commissioner would like to hold?
Can we hold number 8?
Holding 8.
I have no.
Good otherwise, Commissioner Beltran?
Yeah.
Okay. And then on the regular, there are 6 items.
I wanted to hold number 3.
We're going to hold 3.
4.
Hold 4. Any others?
Any closed?
And then going into closed, yes.
Personnel.
Personnel and land acquisition. So we're going to hold 7. And we're going to hold 8 and strike 9 and 10.
Sorry, not land acquisition, but land sale, I think.
Land.
Do we need both? Is that what you're saying?
Oh,
Okay.
So 8 and 9.
8 and 9. And then strike 10, right?
And then, all right, let's go 3 for 4 on those today.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay, on consent agenda, we'll hold number 8. On the regular agenda, we'll hold number 3 and number 4. On closed, we will hold number 7, number 8, number 9, and we will strike number 10.
Thank you, Jolynn. Ezra, 8.
Yes, so this is a contract for appellate legal services. So whenever we have the public defender's office involved in a contested adoption case, usually what these deal with, they will represent one of the parties of the parents, and so when those go out on appeals, they can't represent on those, and so we have contracts with a few different attorneys to provide for these services. This one, the court appointed, or the court was requesting Robert Latham to be appointed on this one. The state's kind of standard contract rate is historically been quite low on these cases. We do have one where we're able to negotiate services at a higher amount per hour, 150 compared to 75, which frankly I don't know how we get any attorneys to do it at that rate. But we do have a few. But for this one, this attorney indicated he wouldn't be able to do it at the $75 an hour rate. I don't know what he would be able to do it at, but I would just request that we approve this at the same rate as we've done one of our other ones, which is $150 an hour, and take that proposal back to him to see if potentially that can happen. I know some of our other attorneys are they've got too much on their plate to be able to take this case in particular right now. If not, that's fine. We can work on getting another contract in place, or we can just forego IDC reimbursement on this one, and we just have to pay out of pocket if we can't find somebody who we can contract with for these. If we have a contract in place, the IDC will reimburse us a portion of these, but if we don't have that contract in place, then we won't get reimbursement on these.
So only fear is setting a precedent.
Yeah,
so,
that's my
hey,
concern.
in a public meeting, we can
We've just
just
doubled
ask
the
more
pay.
and double the pay, right? Sorry, cut you off. But I'm hearing that as a lack of being able to find
That's
someone
correct.
to
I
do
mean,
it.
we do basically have that precedent set already with the other contract that was approved in a public meeting for that same rate. But it's just a matter of this is probably going to need to be dealt with either way as far as the rates go, or again, we can just forego IDC reimbursement on
The
these.
other challenge I have is, you know, with some of our capital cases, like when they see, like, you spent this here, you spent that there, and then we're starting to compare and say, you know,
Yeah.
you got paid more, I got paid, you know,
Sounds like a salary study.
it's literally feels like that, and it's like, you know, makes it difficult. I
Yeah,
think,
the
for us.
capital case rates are higher than these ones, for sure.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, it's
Did he volunteer for that? You said that he was appointed.
I was
by
just gonna
the
ask,
judge.
why
Yeah,
does
the
the
court-
court gets to appoint him?
that is the court just appoints attorneys on.
We just
on
have
these.
rough
It's
courts around here
interesting.
lately.
They have a list of qualified attorneys in this area, and they appoint off of that list. The IDC will reimburse us if we get a contract together with those attorneys that get appointed.
And the IDC's reimbursement only reimburses us if we go with the court appointed.
That's correct.
Seems
And if
pretty
we-
backwards.
Seems like a
So to me,
racket.
if I
Then the
was,
court needs to require that he take our standard contract rate.
yeah, if I was appointed somebody different, I'd be looking at this from the outside looking and going, well, why did the judge let me have the higher double paid than the attorney I got, right? See my problem here?
And then the client, I mean, I'm sure he's a very ethical man. The client knows that we must use him for the reimbursement, so he can just tell us whatever he wants to make.
Well, he would just decline to take the case, so then the court would just have to appoint somebody else, which we would then have to
I think
try to
we
get a
offer our
contract
standard
with.
contract, have him decline and have the court pick someone else, if that's an option.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great option to me.
And I think we ask the court,
I wish
hey,
I would have known about this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I just
Appoint-
found out about this
No,
about
no,
half
you're
an hour
fine.
ago.
This was not
Appoint-
expecting this kind of a.
No,
you know, appoint. I mean, if folks want to be,
we can probably
Appointed,
strike
they
it
need
at
to
this point.
if folks want to be appointed, they need to sign a contract with us at the rate that we can afford to pay. I got a lot of things that I would love to do that I just don't have the money in my bank account for.
When we can change the rate or whatever, but that should go through the right process, not in this kind of process.
I agree. I'll make a motion to strike item number 8 from the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. Thanks, Ezra. And I think on the website it's not updated correctly. My 8 on the
Yeah, it's all
website
over the
is
place.
still the Lake Shore.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm working off the
It
right
is right
printed
on
one.
the PDF.
Yeah, I had to print mine out right before I walked
PDF
over.
is
Yes, the
okay.
online is.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I
Okay.
printed mine right before I walked over.
Just
that
for
same
those at
reason.
home that
Or looking online.
millions of viewers on YouTube.
Yeah, your wife, my mom.
Yep. All right, Ralph. Adopt resolution approving revisions to the human resource policy.
Yes, sir. So I understand that this is being held to discuss the leave policy for miscarriage and stillbirth.
Yeah.
Primarily.
Yep.
And
So-
currently it's 3 days for that and 5 days for all other forms of bereavement.
So I had 2 asks. One is, and I am willing to make this motion if you guys, I want the bereavement for those. For bereavement purposes, I want it to be the same as loss of a child. I am pro-life. I do believe that a child in the womb is a child. And I do believe that when the parents lose that child, they mourn that child. And I think that we should let them mourn that child, whether they were 7 months along or a month after, the same. So I think I would like that bereavement for miscarriage and stillborn to still be 5 days, to be inconsistent with the rest of our bereavement. And then the one request I would have for you is to differentiate between the stillborn and a miscarriage. When a woman has a stillborn, she still has to deliver a baby. And her body is not ready to come back 5 days later. So I'm willing to accept this now with the change from 3 days to 5 days, being consistent with my philosophy of being pro-life and believing that that is a human and is a child. But I would ask that you come back to us in the next month or so after seeing I don't know if it necessarily needs to be the 6 weeks that we have for maternity leave, because she's not up at night and trying to learn how to feed a baby, but her body needs to recover. and I want us to recognize that. So I will make a motion today that we extend this to 5 days for miscarriage and stillborn for bereavement. And then I'm going to ask that you come back to us with maybe some options that are more reasonable for a woman who has had to deliver a baby, whether or not it cried after it was born.
No, I think that's great, and I'm fully in support of this. We had planned on working on the language, for stillbirth and looking at something that is outside of bereavement and outside of what we have currently for leave for mothers, because it is unique and it's also complex. And so we need a little more time on that piece.
Absolutely.
I'd say in the meantime, you're making this change from, the 3 to 5 days is appropriate. The 3-day language comes right out of the law from the state of Utah. However, it's restrictive and conservative compared to what we do for any other employee in a similar situation. So, but yeah,
But
I don't see any issues with that
we tend to
whatsoever.
be slightly more pro-life than the state of Utah. So
Can you also bring us back some data from maybe larger corporations
Yes,
and or other government agencies
absolutely.
as well?
Yeah,
Just so we're aware.
that's exactly what we're looking at and why it's taking a little bit longer.
And I, as the father, would also qualify
at least
for
for
5
bereavement
days
for
for
sure.
bereavement.
Yeah,
Yes, on
that's
the
what I would
bereavement
like. Yeah.
piece, absolutely, because currently it's considered immediate family, and so it would include a father who would
Gotcha.
be involved in that as well.
Questions?
Okay, so then I will make a motion to approve item number 3 with the exception of that we will change bereavement for both the mother and the father or the spouse and the birthing parent if to be 5 days instead of 3 as is with the rest of the people who are immediate family members.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ralph. Okay, Ezra.
Yes, so apologize for these documents coming through late, but this is for Utah County's participation in an Eagle Mountain redevelopment project. So we would just be one of the participating agencies on this. We do have Evan here from Eagle Mountain. If there's any other questions other than the ones I've been able to address before the meeting, but this is for the Sweetwater project in Eagle Mountain. The Meta is the landowner in this area, and they're looking to develop some on-site power generation, which would be like a temporary facility that they'd be able to bring in just due to some of the challenges of their power demand needs and Rocky Mountain Power not being able to meet those in the area. This would generate a substantial amount of revenue over what is currently just vacant land out in that area, and is just part of the overall project. So this is their 4th project area that they're producing. We originally, back in 2018, when this project was first contemplated, anticipated a number of these projects coming in, but this one's a little bit unique and different than anything that was contemplated from the start because of this power generation component. And so it's adding a significantly higher amount of revenue for the area, and will allow them to continue to develop those data centers out there.
Evan, I do have a question as to how your city council felt about this.
Yeah.
Sure, and I'm happy to be here. Do you mind if I add some clarification as well
Please.
to what
And
Ezra
give
shared?
them
So,
your last name again for the
sure, Evan
record.
Barrett. I'm the Director of Legislative Affairs for Eagle Mountain City. So we do have a few different CRAs within our RDA in Eagle Mountain. So this is Sweetwater number 4. Sweetwater number 1 was the original Meta campus. Number 2 is Google. Number 3 is QTS. And so our naming conventions are terrible. So it's very easy to get confused, and we need to have a better naming convention. So I apologize for that. There is an on-site generation part of this as well. This CRA is specifically targeting the expansion of the Meta data center campus. They have about 450 acres that they're wrapping up completion right now, and they're anticipating trying to expand into about another 560 acres just to the south. It's all just bare land that's not producing anything for the city. We're looking at it as, and our city council just voted on it last night on
some additional interlocals with other agencies, and everyone's very excited in Eagle Mountain to utilize this land for this use. It's the best use for the land, and we get a lot of great benefits already from Meta and more to come from it. But the on-site generation part of that is going to bring additional revenues to the city, and it allows us to take some of the burden off of Rocky Mountain Power and other uses. The great thing about this, though, too, is that on-site generation component is actually not included in this CRA, and so that we will receive all of the tax increment, all the different benefits, financial benefits that come from that on-site generation. That'll be done by a third party on a portion of that land, and so that will equate to a value of about $350 million. In addition to the over $1 billion in this expansion. And so that's just added value that we're going to get out of that, in addition to the keeping of the jobs that we have there, municipal energy tax, the property tax, all sorts of different
And
things.
that power generation's internal. It won't be put on the grid.
Correct. Yes, it's specifically for the Meta project. I'm happy to answer any other questions you might have.
So I do have to disclose a perceived potential conflict of interest. This summer, I was put on the board of a nonprofit. Prior to me being on the board of the nonprofit, Meta had pledged a donation to the nonprofit. It preceded my my being on the board of the nonprofit, but because I am voting on a project involving Meta and they had pledged a donation to a nonprofit prior to me being on the board. We wanted to make sure that there was no perceived potential. Obviously, it's not a quid pro quo because they did that long before I was on the board. And I actually just found out about it last night. Didn't even know about it till last night. But I feel comfortable voting on it, but I'm also fine to recuse myself from it. But that pledge did take place prior to me being on the board, and I learned about it last night.
I really hate these. Couple questions. Your council, to Commissioner Gordon's point, all unanimous. Everybody said yes.
Yeah, so the county is actually the last to approve in this, as far
You
as I
got the
know.
school district
The
as
school
well.
district approved unanimously last night,
Okay.
and the city approved that end of it as well. The fire district approved yesterday morning. The only other one is today with the water district, which met their meeting starts an hour before this one, so I don't actually know the outcome of that one yet. But
And then we're on, I guess, essentially phase 4. All of the requests have had a reduction in ask every phase, correct?
yeah, so this is technically a second CRA for the Meta project. We split this up just to kind of keep it a little bit cleaner.
But they're asking for less than they have on all
Sure.
future ones.
And they came in to conversations at Eagle Mountain knowing that that was going to be the case. And we did negotiate quite extensively with them to get it as low as we possibly could. And they have given a lot for us to make sure that this can be something that everyone's happy with. And in all respects of the agreement as well. They've contributed quite significantly to make sure that this works.
And then 2 more. I don't see any identification of the fund use. What is the public benefit that we're getting from the increment?
Sure. Yeah. There's when the
Roads,
CRAs are
any
created.
kind of what kind of projects are they funding?
Yeah, all these funds generally go back to helping the project cover infrastructure costs. There's obviously a whole lot of infrastructure that goes into the cost of doing this, and really
Any
the reason.
public benefit infrastructure?
Yeah, so there will be water lines extended and other infrastructure. One of the great things about even just the beginning of Meta coming in and developing was that extension of infrastructure, the roads, the water, the sewer, and all of that. A lot of what they have done is helped to contribute to Eagle Mountain's sewer capacity and reuse capacity. We have water lines that now go all the way up to our Courtright Memorial
My
Park and
concern
stuff
is
like
those
that.
were all previous projects.
No, those were as consequence of Meta coming in.
Correct. But this
Right,
is a new CRA, so
right.
I want to know what new infrastructure.
Yeah,
So water line.
there's water line. There will be a new natural gas line that'll be run from the south up to Meta to help with that natural gas power facility. Pony Express Parkway will be extended further south. That's an important one for us. Eventually, we hope to see roads that run all the way south through the Cedar
So
Valley.
the Pony Express South Extension will be funded from some of these CRA funds.
Yeah, so they will be as part of the development agreements that they have certain commitments to be able to complete some of this infrastructure. Not all of
You're in
it's
Eagle Mountains agreement with Meta.
correct.
It states Pony Express South Extension will be funded in the CRA or by Meta.
By the company. Yeah. Any
And
of those.
then I think the affordable housing component,
Mhm.
Eagle Mountain administers that, or
Correct. Yeah. So, and we've hired an affordable housing coordinator. And so she started a couple of months ago. And so now she manages our mortgage assistance program, which is a down payment assistance program, which is available to primarily public employees. And in fact, we open it up to county employees as well, anyone who wants to move to Eagle Mountain and otherwise. Um, but there'll be other uses of those funds as well. Kiara was hired as our affordable housing coordinator specifically to help us strategize on the use of those funds, make sure those funds are being used for the most effective purposes possible. We don't want to just throw funds at just anything that sounds good. We want to try and accomplish some real feats of affordable housing, knowing that there's a lot of housing coming to Eagle Mountain that is building in Eagle Mountain and yet still to be built. And so we're hoping to be great leaders in the space of affordable housing, and these dollars from these projects will help us considerably in doing that.
and I thought of one more. You may not know the answer, but how's the performance and like, are we ahead on cap performance on the previous projects? Or they're ahead, or give me an assessment of how the
Yeah,
previous CRA is doing.
I don't have the exact numbers in front of me right now, but we are ahead of the budgets that were passed for those for the Meta one. But even the Tyson Foods that we had built as well, that one is also ahead. And that's in all respects with the property tax, with every component of that. So we've been pretty happy to see that, and we're excited to see with Meta as well their excitement to get under construction immediately. Assuming approval with this, they would be able to take that workforce that's going to be departing if they don't have an expansion to move into, and instead be able to repurpose that into these new phases and get started as soon as next month if they can. So.
And then for Ezra, as far as the administrative revenue, help me with what the benefits to that is to us, the use of those funds.
Yeah, so the county has a lot of administrative responsibilities for these CRAs. We distribute the tax increment. We make sure that all the percentages and stuff are all the same, and all in line with the agreements. So Bert Harvey is our sole staff doing all of our tax administration right now for the most part as far as these go. And so this would help build in some redundancy and also some succession planning for those. So portion of it would go into new technology. All of our CRAs pay a percentage of an admin fee to help contribute to that, and then staff as well.
So we can essentially charge the CRAs for Bert's hours or time.
Yes.
Okay.
Plus the technology used.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's all my questions for now.
Okay. I don't have any. Thanks for taking time to meet with me prior, answer my questions then. So appreciated the partnerships prior. Is anyone ready to make a motion?
Do you guys feel comfortable? Do you want me to recuse or do you want me to make the motion?
Well, that's up to you.
If you guys are comfortable doing it without me, I would prefer to recuse. But if you need my vote, I'm willing to. Because like I said, this was done before I was on the board. And I didn't even know about it till last night, but
Yeah, I will. I'll make a motion to approve item number 4. Because I really hate these, and Evan knows that. Ezra knows that. The commissioners know that. I really am not a CRA fan, but there's a couple reasons why I'll support it today. The public infrastructure of the water, the gas, the road is a big thing for me. The power generation internally is very important. I know the residents get very frustrated when there's not enough power for normal residential use, and we bring these projects. So I appreciate their efforts in generating their own power. That's an important part for me. The percentages are very good. I wish it was 50 instead of 55, but I can live. Much more in line than some of these previous 75, 85, 100% or so. The full support from all participating entities is a factor for me. The council, I hate when the state tells us what to do. So I don't want to get in the way of Eagle Mountain. In my interpretation, Eagle Mountain, it may be the developer or Meta coming to us, but I kind of take it as Eagle Mountain is bringing it to us. So I respect that process as well. Their council wants it, so I find myself to be a partner in the county and not a hindrance. If it was an egregious contract, then maybe I would be a roadblock. But all of those things, I'll be fine to vote yes. So I'll make a motion to approve item 4.
Okay, and I'll second that.
I'll
All in,
recuse myself.
okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that passes. Thanks, Evan.
Thank you.
Thanks, commissioners. Is there anyone from the public that would like to address the commissioners?
You put item 2 on consent, and I just want to thank the commission. Item 2 was the fraud risk assessment from the state that we filled out, and it's normal, but we checked all the boxes, and I want to thank the commission for supporting us in being able to do that. And I also want to thank, in addition to checking all those boxes, we do a regularly scheduled program of internal audits to find additional areas we can improve in terms of risk. And I want to thank the departments for working with us on that. Paul, you might cringe a little bit on this, but attorneys want zero risk. That's their goal, and so their advice is zero risk. And I think sometimes internal audit want zero risk, and I think it's fair for management to say, well, we can't afford zero risk. And you can't afford zero risk in business and in some of what we do. So we will make recommendations that are typically zero risk, and we expect management to make good decisions on what we can do. And we just appreciate the progress that's been made in the county. And I want to thank all the departments for that. And I recognize that everything we recommend isn't necessarily sound from a business perspective, but we rely on the department heads to understand their business better than we do. So thank you.
Thanks, Rod.
Thank you, Rod.
Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, we'll go into closed session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.